for a researcher, there's nothing better than seeing people run with your ideas and try to make change with it.
My proposition is that research is or should be such that it enables unions to understand complex matters in straightforward ways, in ways that we can and should debate and discuss. Research is not consultancy, which usually supplies predetermined answers. So when decisions are made in boardrooms, either close or thousands of kilometres from the communities where labour is applying their skills and generating profits, we need to understand how unions and their trades and labour councils, so TLCs in the Australian vernacular, can be part of these decisions. Unions are key actors in regional socio-economic development and the pursuit of decent work. They are also constantly caught in the tension between defending existing jobs and welcoming job innovation and job development. Australia's post-colonial settlement economy was based in resource extraction, agriculture, manufacturing, but communities were built by workers. And TLCs, trades and labour councils, were established as important industrial, political and social hubs, contributing collective worker voice to decisions being made about workers and their households. TLCs remain critical representatives, but we need to assess how we give voice to workers operating across a range of jobs with a range of skill sets. As unions, we need to understand how employment arrangements are suppressing or enabling collective voice. To illustrate one challenge, gig work is now presented as your panacea for your late night munchies, but we know piece rate engagements are precarious and harmful. We need to understand the conditions then under which unions can be active players in regional socio-economic development and representing all workers as subjects, not objects, of production processes. And we need to understand the complex set of factors that unions face so we can talk about what circumstances are needed for unions to be inclusive organisations. And so my proposition is that academic research matters to and for unions for all of the above. So we need to have a look at data. To illustrate, one project I'm working on with Peter Fairbrother and Kathy Brigden is looking at union voice in the regions of northwest Tasmania, which is the left-hand map, and Gippsland, which is part of Victoria on mainland Australia. So as the northwest in Tasmania developed, regional trades and labour councils were established in Devonport, to the right of the beginning of the circle, and then Burnie. And there were places and spaces for people to come together. By 1984, there was one, and it remains the case, there's only one Trades and Labour Council called Unions Tasmania, and it's based in the southern city of Hobart. Northwest Tasmania has 1/3 of Tasmania's population. The economy is based in the provision of social support and care work and food production. And the region is one based in poverty, not prosperity. And for unions to begin to develop programs to address decent work deficits, we need to understand how the economy works, who is in it, where workers are, so that unions, government and industry can make informed decisions. Gippsland is on the right. As I said, it's in the state of Victoria, in mainland Australia. In 1921, the State Electricity Commission of Victoria, the SECV, was established in the Latrobe Valley, and you can see that I've just pointed out where the Latrobe Valley is in that vast region of Gippsland. So in 1921, SECV is established. In 1932, the Gippsland Trades and Labour Council, the GTLC, was formed in the valley as the only TLC for that entire region. By the early 1990s, there were 46 unions across Gippsland representing myriad workforces affiliated to the GTLC. But in the late 1990s, the SECV was privatised and the Gippsland Trades and Labour Council collapses. The GTLC is rejuvenated in the mid-2000s with health and agricultural sectors as the largest local economies. So why does all this matter? What does it matter for unions and research? Well, unions need to know who to talk to when change happens. It might not necessarily be the obvious person who's in the region. Decisions could be made in Canada that are affecting workers in these regions. Unions also need to know the best questions to ask, and we need to know what we don't know. So understand how to be part of socio-economic transition. Unions need to know what capabilities, so what personal skills, social skills they need to engage workers, develop arguments, be persuasive. They need to know what capacities, such as what cultures they need to implement inclusive decision-making processes and democratic leadership processes. They also need to know what resources, financial, personal, power resources they have to represent all workers. So, returning to my opening proposition, research matters because all of the above. Unions know something is happening in regions, but they may not know the magnitude or the contours of the issue or even the source of union challenges. They may not know who is in the labour market and they may not know where the labour market is. And as a result of unions asking questions of researchers and researchers asking questions of unions, problems can be broken down and data gathered to explain labour market change on people, work, households and communities. So my job as an academic is to distill these variables into evidence-based, usable data that unions can rely on in all sorts of settings, from talking to members to giving evidence in Senate committees. And what really matters, I think, for unions and researchers is that as a result of working together, we will be in a position to provide explanations for what unions can do as peak bodies representing all workers. The end.